So there's one final key that helps drastically simplify the actions that it takes to grow your business, especially when it comes to investing and using money generating skills. It's also, this final key is the biggest key to feeling good in business. So not just all the activities around business like we talked about in the Eliminate Overwhelm Challenge, but also when you show up to do the things that are going to grow your business. That's when it really counts. You're going to have better energy because of everything we talked about. You're not going to be in overwhelm, which makes growing your business so much harder than it needs to be. However, this final key is going to help bring about even more ease to be able to enjoy the sales and marketing activities of your business. If you enjoy sales and marketing, are you going to create a lot more success? Heck yeah, because you actually enjoy it. So we're going to talk about that. And it also is the way to create the deepest and the greatest contribution that you are truly capable of creating in this world. And also helps you tap into a fuel source. So we talked about fuel, with the fuel tank being high and low. This number one key addresses the greatest possible fuel source that you can tap into, so that you don't have to, so that your rest is nice, but it's not like you're at the bottom of the fuel tank there. And this key is alignment with your nature. Alignment with your nature. So I'm going to talk about what this is. There are two parts to your nature, or two parts to this. So first is your nature. So what do I mean by that? This is who you naturally are. All the gifts, all the different aspects and nuances of who you are. There's even two parts to this, two parts to your nature. There's what you've already expressed and what you naturally express day to day. So for example, if you're a really practical person, then that's a part of who you already naturally express day to day. And then there's a second part that's more dormant, which is a part of you that's part of your nature that's really natural to you, part of who you are that's really natural to you, yet it's untapped. It's what I call your untapped potential. So your untapped potential is what is underneath, and it's part of who you are, but maybe it doesn't get full expression. Maybe the practical part has ran it over and didn't allow it to be expressed. So that's the first part, is your nature. The second part is alignment. So alignment with your nature. This is the first key. This is huge. And this is like freaking not talked about barely at all. And it drives me insane. And I've worked with multi-seven-figure business owners around this piece, because they often are just like bulldozing and trying to create success, and they're missing this. Then they end up burnt out, exhausted, and unable to keep fueling this machine that they've built because it was out of alignment. So the second piece is alignment. Basically, alignment is making sure that whatever you're doing, however you're doing it, operating your business in alignment with your nature, with who you are. Oh man, I could talk about this for like 5 days. And I'm starting to feel the fire underneath it all. But I'm going to share the most important pieces here. So when you take action in alignment with your nature, I believe you become a part of nature. And when you're a part of nature, what happens is you grow naturally. You create success much more naturally. In nature, there is no struggle. There's no overwhelm, but there's also no struggle. In nature, trees just grow. They just grow. And it's almost impossible to stop the growth. Like you see sometimes like a little flower like growing through the craziest conditions to come out, and like through concrete and stuff, and you can't really stop it. That's nature. And also when you're in alignment with your nature, what you do in your business feels natural, like breathing. Breathing is natural. You don't have to think about it. If you operate your business in alignment with your nature, it's natural. You don't have to think about it. You just do it. Make sense? It's a huge, huge key. So the reality is, for most business owners, they do not operate their business in alignment with their nature. And most of them live and operate in what I'm going to show you here. Okay. They operate in what I call the struggle paradigm. So the struggle paradigm looks like this, where the business owner puts in so much time, so much energy, so much money to grow their business, And then they look at the results they create and they're like, what? Are you kidding me? That's it? Like, that's all that I've created after putting so much in? Now, I know some of you have seen this diagram before. I'm going to be talking about a different aspect of it that you haven't heard about. This is the struggle paradigm, and this is what I'm like, it's so normal in the business world. Is it not normal in the business world? Like, this is normal. This is the absolute norm for most business owners. And it can look a little bit different. This can be a little higher, this can be a little lower, but the result is often this is the case. Putting in so much, and this can be putting in years of time, not just like time in a day, putting in years, and it's like, what? My business is only making this much? Or like, finally they're making money and then they're like, what? My profit's only this much kind of thing. So this is unfortunately the norm for most business owners. So think about this. If we think about kind of like law of attraction 101, if this is going on inside someone, what might they attract in their business? They might attract endless opportunities to grow their business that don't work, for example, don't work for them. Not that they don't work, but they might not work for the person. They're going to attract all this extra stuff to do. They're going to attract more and more stuff to do, and they're going to attract similar, in proportion, similar results. Make sense? So this is the struggle paradigm. It's so common, and I'm like everything in me just wants to end the struggle paradigm in the world, but whatever. Business owners is where my heart is. So that's my first focus. Okay, so what I invite you to embrace is that this is the old way, okay? The old way, kind of like overwhelm was the old way. This is the old way. And my entire business is devoted to helping people get out of this. Like, pretty much everything I do comes down to helping people get out of this, because it's awful, it sucks. We did this with the Eliminate Overwhelm Challenge, right? Overwhelm is this. It's like, what is that doing there? What is all that work and that I can't produce much? So we did a lot of this in the Eliminate Overwhelm Challenge. You got a taste of what this is like to get out of that. So let's talk about what I now invite you into. Just a moment. What I now officially invite you into for the rest of the life of your business is what I call the natural business paradigm. So this one looks a little nicer, where what you put in to your business, the time, the energy, the money, is actually natural. It's a natural amount of energy that you're putting in, but look at the results. The results are far greater than the struggle paradigm. Okay, anyone interested in this one? Yes, thank you. This is the natural business paradigm. And really what this is putting in what is natural. Not trying to be some freaking superhero. You're not a superhero. You're just not. And maybe you can pretend for a day, but you can't keep it up because you're human. And humans, we need a different way to operate. So how do we do this? So let's take a look at the difference. So what is the difference here between these? First thing I'm going to point out, the difference is this. Maybe with a different color. Throwing around my child markers. You gotta be a kid, otherwise what's the point? Life is meant to be fun. Okay, so this is the biggest thing that I notice, is that this whole piece here is not here in the natural business paradigm. You see that? So in this one, there's a whole bunch of excess things that are being done, money that is being invested or wasted. There's so much going on here that doesn't need to happen. Time, energy, and money for things that aren't required. It's also not natural. So this is what is natural for you, and this is unnatural. Meaning, it's probably exhausting. And most people don't realize how exhausted they are when they're in the struggle paradigm until they get out of it. And it's like, oh my God, what was I doing? Okay, so what is left here? What is left is what is left beyond this excess is this. It's what is natural to you. What is natural to you? What is in alignment with your nature? This is what we're talking about, this biggest key to creating ease in your business and creating success with ease. So this piece is in alignment with your nature. So when you eliminate this excess and only do what's in your nature, a new reality opens up. It's the natural business paradigm, but I'm going to share some different characteristics and qualities of what that looks like. So number one, what do you think this does to your energy if you're doing all this stuff that's not actually needed and doing all this stuff that's not you? It goes down and it dilutes the energy of who you're here to be in the world. You get that? Yes, depletion. When you're showing up in this way, but this is actually you, there's a whole bunch of water being put into the energy that you have. It's diluting who you are. It's diluting your impact with your clients, with your clients. It can dilute your impact with your clients. It can dilute, your medicine, like what you're here to contribute to the world. And also so that's with that. So I talked about that. So when you get rid of that excess, what you have is this super potent, here I am, this is what I represent, this is what I'm all about. And when you speak from that energy, people feel it. They feel it. They feel the transmission from who you are. It's not just words. It's not just words. They feel this. When you eliminate this and you focus on only doing what's in alignment with your nature, you become potent. You become potent. Your work becomes more potent. Also, your happiness increases because guess what? It's exhausting and it's not fun to be who you're not. It was not fun for me to be an engineer. It was not fun. I had to leave because it wasn't me, it was excess. And there's different things I've dropped in my business over the years that weren't me, that I thought I had to do, I thought I was supposed to do. And really the reality is in business, it's common to think, hey, I better do all these things because that's what that person's doing to create success. And that might be right for them, but it might be absolutely the wrong thing for you. It might lead to complete exhaustion and burnout. Make sense? So this is a huge key. Also, when you operate only in alignment with your nature, what happens is success becomes easier. Think about, we've been setting intentions. Think about what you'll attract with this more potent energy. Like here, there's more potent energy. You're going to attract only what you need. You're not going to be distracted by a million ways to grow your business because you'll be like, yep, this is yes, this is no, because you know what's in harmony with your nature. Cool. Okay, so yeah, super, I can like feel the fire inside of like this topic because it's so important and so nobody talks about this and it's just sad, really sad. Okay. Also, when you drop all this excess, only then will you get to experience the full power of what your nature is. The full power of what you're here to bring to the world. The full power of transformation you can take your clients through. Okay? Like this is a freaking power zone. That's why you don't have to do a bazillion things. This is why I can work 4 to 6 hours in a day and just be super potent when I show up. Make sense? So this is the natural business paradigm, which I have been in for a number of years now. Okay, so when you first think about it, it might sound easy. Okay, I'm just gonna operate in alignment with my nature. I'm going to operate in alignment with my nature. That sounds pretty easy. Unfortunately, it's not easy. So the world has a lot, so in the business world, when it comes to growing your business, there's a lot of like cookie cutter stuff out there. Do like I do to create success. hey, this is how I created success. If you do this, you'll also have success. So it's easy to just get caught up in that. It's easy to feel like that's true. And it might be true for them and it might be true for you, but how do you know? Because we can get caught up in these messages of like, do this to grow your business. Yeah, and I feel emotional in this moment because I got caught up in this too. I did so many things in my business that weren't a match to my nature. And it ended up being this gigantic ceiling and it was freaking exhausting. Yes, it sucks to have a ceiling on multiple six-figure success. You know, like, okay, some people might think that doesn't suck. That's amazing. It does suck because whatever ceiling is there right now, it's a ceiling on what you know you're here to be doing in the world and what you know is possible for you, the success that has your name on it. And to be hitting up against that ceiling is just friggin' frustrating. And it's a waste because you have gifts to share with this world. So a lot of I have a hard time, like I've taken different business courses and I love a lot that's out there. However, most business mentors, all they do is do this to create success. They don't say do this to create success if you're this type of person. If you're this type of person, go somewhere else because you're not going to be happy. I took one program a couple of years ago when I hadn't fully embraced this piece of my business, and I realized by the end of it that I don't operate like that guy. Like I'm never going to do the things that he does to create success because it's not freaking natural. So we got to be starting to look for what matches and what doesn't. Also, here's the other thing that's super important. Or actually, before I jump into that, often even if you're like, hey, I'm a lot like that business mentor, so I'm going to take that business program. Even in that case, you take like I've had this before. Okay, I'm a lot like this person. That is so what I'm going to do. And then I take the program and I can just feel it. There's a certain piece where I'm like, if I did it that way, it would be excess. And so even within programs, there's like little pieces that it's like, that piece isn't quite a match. And unfortunately, if you don't know exactly what your nature is, you can end up doing it the hard way, like I've done in the past, where you do it and then you're exhausted. It doesn't work quite as you expect it to, and then you have to move on. Okay. Also, so I've shared that I've analyzed thousands of people over 2 decades, and I've done that, analyzed people for what makes them unique. And if I've learned one thing, it's this: every single one of us is complex. Every single one of us is complex. We're not simple. There's many systems of self-inquiry and understanding who you are and different types. What type of this are you? La, la, la. And many of them try to put us into categories, which are basically like boxes to kind of put a label on, like you're this type. And what I know to be true is you might be one type of that, but that's not all that you are. Like you're a complex human. There are many aspects to who you are. Make sense? So you are complex. Every single person is complex. Nobody is just purely simple. It's just not the reality that I've seen and that I've experienced. So at best, most systems for understanding ourselves capture like a core piece of who we are, or maybe like a few core pieces of who we are. So to further complicate things, as I mentioned earlier, I found in every person's nature, there are 2 things. There are the embraced parts that I talked about earlier. These are the parts that you're comfortable with. You're like, yeah, I'm a practical person. Practicality, that's my nature. So there's that. There's the parts that I'm playful, I'm fun. Like there's the parts of your nature that you are aware of, number 1, and that you embrace day to day. And number 2, there is your untapped potential, which I spoke about earlier. These are the parts of your nature that are absolutely natural for you, but yet you likely haven't been using them a lot, but they're still there. Or maybe you only express them sometimes. Or in a lot of cases, some people think that some of their greatest gifts are actually a problem because they've experienced them as a problem in the past, but it's a part of their nature. And by not embracing it, they're missing out in a big way. So one of the biggest keys to success that I've seen, to the success in the natural business paradigm, this kind of success, not just like oh, I'm making X million dollars a year, but there's not a lot of profit and I'm freaking exhausted and working 7 days a week. This kind of success, the natural business paradigm success. One of the biggest pieces is to embrace the untapped potential. You can't get here honoring only part of your nature and being in alignment with only a part of your nature. The pieces that aren't in alignment with your nature, increase this and decrease that. Make sense? So that's the other challenge. And also, so how do you even know what this untapped potential is? And also, how do you make sure that you're embracing it in your business? And how do you make sure that what you're doing day to day to grow your business is in alignment with your nature? If the untapped potential is this sort of unknown thing that's under the surface, how do we know? That becomes a challenge. I've analyzed myself and others using self-inquiry tools, like every freaking tool that I could find, that I have found, I have used obsessively on myself and my clients and others around me. And what I've seen is there are not a lot of systems that can be applied to business. You know, there's not a lot of systems that can be applied to business. So it wasn't until I created for myself a system, well, for myself and then my clients, I created a system that pulls from a few key places, that is simple, is clear, has you be able to identify your untapped potential, that really shows how to, that can be really applied to business, where things really opened up. So that's called natural design. I'd love to jump and maybe we'll do a couple hot seats. Is anyone interested in doing a little hot seat? Okay, cool. So what I'd love to do is just share an example. So what we're looking for are just clues. And I can't do a whole big ton here based on the limitations of this Zoom call, but, and time. You know, I want to make sure we're done on time. But I can open up space at the end too, if needed. So, and some of you know some of your natural design because you're in my own community or the Inner Game Makeover. So some of you know some of this. So we're looking at it through a different lens, as you notice here. We're looking at it through the lens of like, what is natural and what is excess? Doing only this. Now there are several parts to your natural design. I'll talk about that more a little bit later. However, we're just looking for a couple clues. So maybe put your hand up or raise your hand in the chat if you'd like to do a little hot seat here. All right, cool. So I'm gonna unmute Jocelyn here, just for a quick sec. Jocelyn, who's been busy traveling and moving and oh my God, God knows what she's actually now. Yeah. Okay, so Jocelyn, I mean, I know a lot about your natural design, like most of it, but what I'm gonna speak to here is the energy of leadership and the energy of expression. Okay, so the energy of leadership, the energy of expression. So what that means is there are many different things. So for example, with a business program, Jocelyn, what she has to do is she has to evaluate, does this program allow me to really embrace my leadership? Does it allow me to express in a way that's playful and joyful or not? If the program that she's considering, for example, has like 50 moving parts and all these systems that have to be repeated over and over and over and over, she's probably going to lose her mind because it's not fun. And that's not her being a leader. She's not going to be someone tinkering in the background, tweaking little Facebook ads. You know, like, does that make sense, Jocelyn?
Yeah, I don't even know how to do a Facebook ad.
No, and like for you to learn, that's excessive. Like,
I hate all that stuff, yeah.
That does not match who you are. Speaking, for sure, which is where we're at, how to learn how to sell from stage.
And get up and do it.
Yeah, totally. Be the leader who's speaking and expressing. That is in your nature. So as much as possible to do that, and of course there's more to your natural design, but just these couple of keys, the more you do that, the easier success will be. Make sense? So that's the idea, is to honor your nature.
Yeah.
Cool. And like a powerful expressor, you know, and I know a lot about your message. It's really cool. And needed in the world.
And it feels good and it's fun.
Exactly, and it feels good and it's fun. You're here to have fun. If it's not fun, you shouldn't be doing it. So that's a part of your nature. There are some of us who are meant to be playful and expressive and to have fun. So if you don't incorporate that, guess what? Boring and exhausting, and it takes a lot of fuel. And for those people with those particular gifts, they tend to like take off. They can't do it because it's too hard. It's not natural. Okay, cool. Thanks, Jocelyn.
Thank you.
All make sense? Cool. All right. We'll just do another quick one. Anyone else wanna go here? Okay, cool. Let's do someone I haven't done before. Well, I might have in person. I met you one time. Jen Brown. Jen won the whole grand prize, which is awesome. But
I'm so excited.
I'm excited too. So just a super quick one here. There's a lot, like you have this leadership energy as well, but for you, it's really about deep transformation, like powerful transformation, almost like a liberating kind of energy. And very likely there's some creativity there as well. So freedom is likely a high value for you. Is that true?
The biggest.
Like obsessive amounts of freedom. Yeah, that's a part of your nature, is that freedom aspect. I see your screen.
Recently, yeah.
Okay, cool. You still hear me? Good.
Oh,
So
yeah, I'm gonna move.
okay, cool. So that's a part of Jennifer's nature. So whatever she does, she has to make sure it's going to allow me to be a leader, and it's going to allow me to create deep transformation. It's going to allow me to be free. If I'm not free, I'm not freaking happy. And so for you, probably things that involve a lot of repetition, forget it. Like, can you do that? Can you sustain that? I don't think so, because this particular aspect of your nature is very much, it's like life force and fuel. And so that creative energy kind of like ebbs and flows, and it's either there or it's not. So you really have to cultivate that life force energy. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm, it does.
So if something doesn't have life to it, there's almost no point in doing it. So therefore, does that make sense? Does that resonate?
Yeah, it does. I think I would have to do some thinking about the practical aspect of what that actually means, but what you're saying totally makes sense.
Yes. And this is the thing, like there's the practical aspect of like, oh my God, how does that actually operate? And I've got a similar aspect in my nature, and I had to redo my whole model to accommodate it. Wasn't a simple quick fix.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so if, for example, anything in your day should have a lot of aliveness in it, should have a lot of life to it. And specifically thinking of a business program, it should allow you to be creative, and it should allow you to be inspired. And if it doesn't, it's likely you're going to not be able to fully create the highest level of success with that. Make sense?
Mm-hmm, totally.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, fun. I wish I could go through every single person, because this is one of my favorite things in the world to do, but we don't have time. Want to make sure we get through all of this, and then we can open up for a couple more in the end. And I know Barbara messaged she had to jump off. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna keep going. Yeah, so basically what I've done here with Jennifer, Jen, she goes by on Facebook, Jen and Jocelyn, is I've shared a couple pieces of their natural design. So thanks, Liz. So what I've shared is a couple pieces of their natural design. And there are a number of different aspects. And one of the first important pieces is to, number one, know what your natural design is. And also, sorry, I lost my paper here. Yeah, to operate in the natural business paradigm, a couple things need to happen. Number one, you must know what your natural design is. If you don't know what it is, it's hard to make sure you're in alignment with it. So natural design is a system that I created that allows us to understand what our nature is in a very simple, easy to identify way. That's so simple, it becomes literally a checklist. Okay, yes, this is the right move. This is the right thing to do today. This is the right thing to do in my business. This is the right program to invest in. And so the first part is to know what your natural design is. And that's super important, because there are untapped potential there. And even with Jen, like is that super creative energy super transformational? Has she fully tapped into the fullest possible expression of that? Maybe, but maybe not. Maybe there's more there. Likely there is. So knowing your natural design is one thing, but what I've really learned over the last couple of years is that we must fully own our uniqueness, all aspects of it, and consciously step into it in order to bring it into our day-to-day expression in our business, the day-to-day what we're up to in our business, and in order to capture the full power of our ability to create success in our business in a way that's natural and has ease. I believe in the natural business paradigm because I've operated in it for years, and more so in the last couple of years as I really embraced and chose to fully, completely live in accordance with my natural design. And I believe the struggle paradigm has got to go. It's old school. It's old. It's exhausting. You are already seeing that your business can feel different day to day. We've barely freaking scratched the surface. The old has got to go. The struggle paradigm has got to go. And that's why I created a community called Own It that basically teaches your natural design, how to understand what your natural design is, and also how to use it, how to use it in your day-to-day, how to use it to identify what's going to allow you to create success naturally that's in alignment with who you are versus unnaturally. So would it be all right if I share about Own It and also give you some more tips? Okay, cool, thank you. So Own It, the Own It community is a monthly membership that allows you to get clear on what your natural design is, number one. And number two, supports you in your journey of aligning yourself and your actions in your day-to-day business, the actions to grow your business, to support you in bringing that alignment about, alignment with your nature, with who you are. In doing so, increasing the contribution that you're making because you're more of that potent, like, here I am, powerful energy. You know who you are. You're not apologizing for it. You're not asking for permission. You're just being it. And your ideal clients love you for it. And they are drawn into it because they feel your energy. They feel like, yes, you're my person, because they can feel it. Increases your happiness. When you're operating in accordance with your nature, you're happy, you're fulfilled. It feels good. And also it helps you create success in a much more natural way. So there are a few phases to go through in the Own It community. And the content is taught through videos. So you can be doing this just from the comfort of your home. Phase one is to clarify your natural design. So this is what it takes. I've lived through this myself, guided a lot of clients through this. So phase one is to clarify your natural design. What is your natural design? There are 3 parts. I'm going to share what they are here. First is your 7 key gifts. So know that there's a part of your nature that is your gifts, meaning there's gifts that you're meant to give to the world. And when you know you're giving all of your gifts because you have this feeling of like, yes, like I'm giving all that I've got to give in this world. I'm contributing, I'm bringing the greatest contribution I can. I'm giving it all that I've got. I'm giving all that I have to give to this world. It is an amazing feeling to feel that yes, I am doing it. Number 2, you have 7 unique natural needs. Excuse me. Your natural needs are what you personally need in order to be filled up, in order to have a deep sense of fulfillment inside and just happiness. You feel happy when you meet your own needs. That's number 2. And number 3 is your brand essence. There's 6 elements to your brand essence. And this is your brand essence represents your most powerful broadcast, the specific and unique possibility that you're here to hold, to live in, and to represent in this world. You're here to represent a specific possibility for people who are out there. For your potential clients are drawn into this because they're like, I need that. That's what I'm missing. And this is all unconscious. This is all energetic. It's not even words. You don't even have to put words to it. You will put words to it. You likely already are to some degree in your business, but your ideal clients are drawn into this vibration, into this broadcast. I like to think of your business as like a lighthouse, and you're putting out that beacon. Your brand essence and really all of your natural design, fully expressing it, has your beacon be as bright as possible so that your people who are out there lost at sea can navigate the waters and find you and work with you. So as you can see, there are a number of parts and you are complex. This is what I've seen over the years, and like each of these parts are super important. But yes, you're complex, but when you know your natural design, it becomes your template for the most fulfilling natural success. So if any opportunity comes up for you to, hey, do you want to take this program and make all this money? You have a checklist to actually be like, yes or no. Yes or no. Some are nightmare, some are perfect, but you'll be able to know that. So that's phase one, which is to clarify your natural design. Phase two is to integrate your natural design. Here you identify and begin to explore your untapped potential. So it's one thing to know, hey, I'm practical. I keep using the practical example. Maybe because Karen's here. Hey, I'm practical. But there might be another part of you that's absolutely spontaneous and wild. So we need to find out what are these untapped potentials that have not been expressed. That's where the real power is in your business, is to really claim that untapped potential and to start practicing using it. That's where you really open up more of the power of your nature, your natural design. If you're practical and then you just be more practical, that's not going to really do a lot. But if you're practical and you're also meant to be like kind of a rebel, well, wait a minute, now that is going to shake things up. That's going to create more power in your vibration and what you're putting out there. Make sense? So that is, so integrate your natural design. There's some checklists here and some meditations to guide you through this process and guide you through the experience of understanding what your natural design is and really starting to get to know these parts of yourself, these gifts that you have, these different components of who you are that really want to be integrated and that need to be integrated in order for you to move into the natural business paradigm. And the whole point of this, like, it's really cool, even just like say one gift. If there's one gift that you haven't been expressing, once you start to do it, it's like this whole big fuel source opens up. It's really cool. And a part of your brand essence, you could be missing one part and feel like you're in the box, like you can't fully express. And you integrate that part and you become super freaking potent and powerful. And once again, there's likely pieces that you're not fully expressing. When you express those, it becomes really powerful. So that's phase two, to integrate your natural design. And the whole point of that is to make sure that you're expressing all parts of it. Because if you have untapped potential, it's like success that's waiting to be birthed. It's happiness that's waiting to come into your business. We want to access all of it. So that's phase two. Phase three is to increase your wattage. So thinking back to the beacon, being this powerful beacon, basically this is the fun part and this is the exciting part, and it's like freaking mega powerful. Here you begin to explore the full power of your natural design. You explore what it feels like to fully express all aspects. So not just like, okay, I'm using all of my natural design, but to fully express all aspects of who you are in your natural design. What happens here is you start to have maximum energy, maximum fuel to do the things you need to do. So you're showing up to do the tasks that are on your list. And because you're approaching it with all this energy, it's just like, whoa, it's powerful. There's a lot more ease in your business. And because you're being this like potent force of, yeah, this is who I'm here to be, it's a maximum contribution as well that you're here to be making. And this is like really an amazing experience. And this particular part has only come about not that long ago, as I'm always guided on my own journey, and then I teach what I've learned. I've known about natural design when I didn't create it as a system. I've known about that for a lot of years. But once I put it into a system, it became more powerful. And then once I saw, oh my God, look what happens when all of your natural design is being expressed in my clients and in myself. That is like a whole new world. Really exciting. So here is where you're going to create the checklist. So once you have this experience, here's where you create your checklist that is your go-to before you spend another freaking dollar in learning how to grow your business and how to create success, you have your checklist out to make sure, yes, this is in alignment with my nature. Okay? There's so much money and time and energy wasted. That's just a distraction. And I invite you to stop doing that and to really just be in alignment with you. Stop apologizing for it. Stop thinking it's a problem. There are many different aspects to natural design that feel like a problem. Like, I can't be that. That's a problem. It's like, actually, that's what you're here to be in the world. But that's the idea, is to really embrace it all. So that you know, is this in alignment or is it not? So you stop wasting money, energy, and time. So we got other stuff to do. We got to relax, right? We got to rest. We got to have fun. We got to have weekends off. We got to do all these great things. Okay, so here's a tip. When you learn money generating skills that are a total match to all of who you are, to all of your natural design, that is the easiest and most unstoppable way to create success. Because every part of you is like, yes, this is a yes. Even like putting together this challenge, it honors 100% of my natural design. And that's why I was like freaking so pumped to do it. So excited. It's like super generous. I get to help in these practical, obvious ways. There's a whole bunch of different things I'm not going to go into, but it's like, this is a freaking hell yeah. This feels so good to my bones. Where other people are like, maybe, when you have the pieces that are total match, like speaking was for so many years, when you have the way that's a total match to who you are, it really becomes a really natural way to create success. Okay. And this is huge fuel as well. So a lot of people talk about motivation. You'll never hear me talk about motivation at all, other than saying that I don't like motivation. I'd much rather you be so fueled from the inside that you can't help but to do it. That's the natural business paradigm. That's what it's supposed to be like. I couldn't stop myself from creating this challenge. I threw it together in a very short time. I couldn't stop myself because I was so freaking excited and it was so much fun to do. That's what it's supposed to feel like. Marketing and sales are supposed to be fun. Reaching your new people is supposed to be fun. It's meant to be just as fun as working with your people. That is my belief. And it can be if you know what your natural design is and you make sure that whatever you do to attract clients is in alignment with your natural design. Okay. All right. So here in this third phase, which is to increase your wattage, here you're going to start to likely attract ways that are going to help you grow your business, or you're going to seek out, hey, I want something that's this, this, and this, and you're going to start to find ways that are really in alignment, and that feels awesome. Or you're going to look in your toolbox you already have and be like, dust off something. Hey, I didn't really do much with this. Maybe this is the right thing to do. Okay. So this is a community. So we do have a Facebook group, which is where a lot of the interaction happens. And each month there's an Ask Fia-Lynn Facebook Live. And this is where you get your questions answered. This is where I set it up as a Facebook Live to make use of all of my natural design. I download pieces in the moment. I receive inspiration that's specific to who's there. So that it allows me to create that space where that can happen. And yeah, so download messages that the group needs to know, that you need to know. And really, this is the place to go deeper with all of the learning. And this is where a lot of the new is coming through for the group, which is super exciting. Also, you get to receive any intuitive hits from me if you feel like, hey, something's off. Can I get a sense of what's off from you? You'll get that as well. So each month there's a theme that we're going deeper into. So first you learn your natural design and you're like, okay, yeah, that's me. And it kind of seems like this simple thing, but really there's so much depth to it. So with each month we go deeper into different aspects, different gifts, different elements of brand essence to really fully understand them, to more fully embrace them, and to more fully live them. I created a simplified system. I think it was like 2 years ago, about two years ago. Like, I've used it forever, but I compiled it into a very simple, easy to use system a couple of years ago. And I am still going deeper and deeper into my natural design, and it's opening up new worlds. of possibility in my business that are super awesome. So it's not just like a quick boom, there you go. It can be for sure, and there's so much more goodies there the deeper you look. So each month we're going to explore it further. Also, I do a monthly hot seat. So I'm going to be focusing on one aspect of someone's natural design and show them as a hot seat and as an example, because you likely have some gifts or some parts of your brand essence that are similar. So it helps to see what it can look like, how it can show up in the day-to-day, how it can show up in business. And you also have a chance to be on the hot seat yourself by being in this community. So yeah, and I talked about the Facebook group. This is a community of business owners, transformational business owners who are devoted to fully living into their purpose and their mission and creating success in alignment with who they are. Where is that talked about? I don't know, other than own it. This is not how people are doing business, unfortunately. I wish it was different, and I'm doing all I can to help increase that happening. Okay, so let's talk about the investment. To work with me privately, to clarify your natural design, point out your untapped potential, and to really go on a journey of living into your natural design day to day. I do have a private program and also increase the wattage. The private program, the investment is $10,000. And it's super powerful to work with me privately. Just one private client I worked with not like a year or so ago, year and a half ago, he was at 20,000 a month, euros. And by the time we were done working together, he was at like 40,000 euros a month. And he went from working crazy hours to working 4 to 6 hours a day because he had a baby, which is awesome. So his little son actually gets to freaking spend time with his dad, like a lot of it, which is super awesome. So I'm not going to talk too much about this here, but if you're drawn to this or if you want to find out more, just send me a private message on Facebook. The investment in the Own It community is less. It is only $97 a month, US. And it's a monthly subscription, meaning you stay as long as you stay. You know, you're invited to stay as long as you want, because part of my nature is working with people over time and creating deeper and deeper transformation as time goes on. But at the same time, you can cancel anytime. So to register, you can go to scalenaturally.com/ownit. Karen, do you mind typing that in for everyone? Thank you. Karen's on my team, for those of you who have heard me say that. scalenaturally.com/ownit, own it being all one word. So I'm going to talk about Kate Harlow, who's my best friend. She's also been in Own It since day one. And she avoided having a business for 7 years. She was sitting on an idea because she was like, F this. She was working at a company. She saw how much business owners struggled. And she finally believed me that it doesn't have to be so hard. And she was a part of Own It. And what she did is she focused 100% on bringing her natural design into each little thing that she was doing. So she did that. And what happened is she created a high-end luxury retreat, because luxuriousness is a part of her brand essence. She's meant to be this. So she created a high-end luxury retreat in Italy and then Greece. She's held one in Italy and Greece. She sold out both of them, and she hit 6 figures in her first year, all doing her business in a way that's so natural to who she is and breaking a lot of the rules she learned. So another person who's in Own It is Leslie Thompson. She, just from seeing her 7 key gifts, there was a couple of gifts that she saw and she's like, wait a minute, I know what my new form of selling is. And she just like had one word in her mind based on her gifts, shifted the way she saw selling, and basically she held this goddess weekend, like repeatedly over 2 years. And for the first time ever, with her new approach to sales, she sold out her goddess weekend in advance, which had not happened before. The first time ever. So to register, once again, go to scalenaturally.com/ownit. When you register, actually, I'll share that in a moment. I'll share it now. There's an extra bonus for the first 5 to register. So definitely check it out sooner rather than later to be one of the first 5. I'll share what it is in a moment. Okay, so, and also while you're here, when you register, I've created a way for you to, I've put in some extra cool things to give you more incentive to sign up now, which is exciting. I'm really excited about what they are. Number 1, the first thing you're going to get is the Eliminate Overwhelm Challenge recordings to use for as long as you want. So you can go back to those, because I know that overwhelm, all those things we learned were habits, and there might come a time in the future where you need to be reminded of those habits to make sure you're using them fully. So that's the first thing. That's worth $197. You also are going to receive a specific training called Clarify Your Ideal Client, worth $197. And this, if you already know who your ideal client is, who your niche is, whatever you want to call it, if you already know, then you're going to go into the subtleties from your brand essence. You're going to go into the subtleties, so that, and this is super powerful. This allows you to understand aspects of your ideal clients that they might not even understand, but you're going to be able to speak to those ideal people directly, because you understand them based on your brand essence. And if you don't know who your ideal clients are, this is your way. There's 6 ways that I share how to get clear on who your ideal client is, to make sure that you're working with the people who are the easiest to work with, right? We're talking about ease here. We're talking about natural. Who is a natural fit to who you are? And what I'm most excited about is, oh yeah, so that training's worth $197. What I'm most excited about is a Zoom call that's just like this, except fully interactive. And this Zoom call is called the Increase Your Wattage Zoom call. And I'm super pumped about this. This is the first time I've done it. In this call, basically, I'm going to be guiding you through, everyone in the group, through what it takes to really increase your wattage and increase your broadcast. So we're going to do this after you learn all your natural design and have had some time to sit with it. And you're going to tap into your untapped potential. You're going to learn how to tap into your untapped potential. I'm going to be guiding you through some processes to do that. And we're going to start exploring, what does it look like when you operate all of your natural design at once, which is super, that's where the magic happens. So this is worth $497. I will be doing a few hot seats on there as well to give examples so that we can all really understand it. So yeah, so when you register by Friday, so I haven't chosen the time yet, but I'll email it, but it's for sure by Friday, you receive all of these additional bonuses as my gift for free. So once again, to register, go to scalenaturally.com/ownit. And Karen put it in there. Maybe if you don't mind putting it in one more time, Karen, just so it's easy. That would be great, thank you. Okay, and okay, I'm gonna share, for the first 5, I'm gonna share what you get in a moment, or maybe I'll share that now. So for the first 5 people to register, you will receive a really intimate 5-person group laser natural design session with me and 5 others. So I'm gonna see your natural design, and I'm going to be sharing intuitive insights on that whole natural design. So if you would like to receive that, then I highly recommend you get on it right away. Jump on it and be one of the first 5. Yeah. So yeah, so I did like a quick one, say with Jennifer and Jocelyn, but when I see all of your natural design, that's where the power comes, because I have this brain that, like, it's my engineering brain. It understands real big complexities. So I see the complexity of all that you are, and I receive intuitive hits to, like, oh, look at this piece, look at that piece. So once again, scalenaturally.com/ownit. And then I do have, yay, Jen, woo, woo, woo. Congratulations. There's a video on the second page that you might want to pause and come back to in a moment. And who is this? Please type your name, RLJ. I know that your name is not Earlj, but please type what your name is. So glad to have you as well. Oh, Robin. Okay, cool. I couldn't see you. Okay, awesome. Okay, I'm getting distracted by the comments, so I have that squirrel thing. Squirrel. Okay, focus on my paper. Yeah, I do also have a guarantee to make it as risk-free as possible for you. So if I would just find it on the page. Oh, yes. So I know the power of this work. It's freaking epic. It is totally transformational. It is a game changer. It's a game changer. I can't imagine where my business would be without this. Own It is the heart of my business. It's the heart of me and, like, my business, but also the heart of, like, the transformation that happens in my company. Awesome, Liz. Yay. Glad to see you there. Yay. Okay. See, distracted. All good. Big hug, Liz. Okay. Yeah, so I know the power of it. I've lived the power of it. I've watched the power of it with my clients. And so I 100% stand behind the power of this. And so to make it risk-free, you can join and be a part of it for up to 14 days. And if you feel like, man, this is totally out to lunch, this woman's crazy, this is totally not for me, likely not gonna happen, but whatever, we don't know. If for some reason you're just like, no, this is not right for me, then you just email our office and we will give you your investment back, okay? So totally risk-free. I'm super freaking pumped because Own It is awesome. It's been in existence for over a year and a half. A lot of people have been there right from day one, and the energy is building and growing and deepening. And this is a whole new way of operating in business. It is not talked about out there at all, and it saddens me. And that's why I'm devoted to empowering as many people as possible to embrace their nature, to stop trying to be something you're not to create success. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. You just don't. Business can be a lot more simple when you know what your nature is and you just operate in accordance with it. Yeah, and part of my nature is community. Like, it's 2 of my gifts involve community, well, actually 3. And I love the energy of the people here, and I'm so devoted to every single person who's there. So yeah, to join, go to scalenaturally.com/ownit. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I released, oh, I forgot to mention, there's one more piece that's super important. Every month, so this is, totally forgot. So you have your natural design, and there's these things called your secret treasure and your bonus gifts. So each month you're gonna receive a new one of those. So your secret treasure and your bonus gifts, these are different parts of who you are. Like, I'm thinking of Barbara. Barbara was on one of the calls recently. She's like, don't I have this one? Every month you'll get to know more of your uniqueness. And why I don't overwhelm people with that all at once is because that's not helpful. Simplicity is important, and like knowing your natural design is important. So that is one piece that gets released over time.